This is Jorge from Cali Fish Keeper. If you guys have been following me lately, you guys have been hearing me talk about the Medaka Fish Fest that's going on in Santa Ana, California. Well, I'm here. So I'm going to give you guys a quick run through of Nolan's aquarium, kind of show you that. Doors haven't officially opened. That's why the cage is in here. I'm not in prison. I'm just inside the store. I got an opportunity to come in here a little bit earlier. But I want to get this footage done before it gets a little bit too busy and crowded, and we won't be able to really get an opportunity to see everything that is Nolan's aquarium. To get started, let me turn the camera around and I'll show you basically from the inside, which this is the main door, and we'll just kind of walk through, and I'll turn this around so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like. So this is the entrance of the store right here, and as you come in, you'll see that they've got a couple of shelves with accessories. They got some aquariums in here. As you guys will see, they are an authorized vendor for Aquarium Co-op. I believe they're the only ones here in this area of Orange County. And so if you're looking for Aquarium Co-op products, you'll be able to find them. Also, they are an authorized dealer for UNS. And the reason I find this very interesting is because if you've been watching my videos lately, one of the things that I've been talking about is the possibility of downsizing because I want to go indoors. Well, this is exactly what I have in mind that I want to do. Is I want to go with some of these rimless aquariums that are a little bit smaller. You know, they're the nano size, but it's always hard to gauge the size of these aquariums when you just see the dimensions online. And I wanted to be able to get a feel for how big they are, which ones are the ones that I think would work the best for the small area that I have. And so I'm glad that I got an opportunity to see that here personally. This is like one of their main display rooms. This is the store mascot. If I'm not mistaken, I believe his name is Jerry. So the people that come here on a regular basis are very familiar with the arowana that's in here. He's also got some really nice blood parrots and a catfish and a big gourami and some other stuff down. It looks like a big old yo-yo loach. No, a dojo loach and a pleco. Nolan was telling me that a lot of the stuff that you see here, like these empty cases, are going to become full-blown aquascape and full setups, and that's kind of going to be the idea in this area. They just got them up for display right now. I'm really liking these these little bookshelves type of aquariums. I want to say that's like a 6-gallon. What does it say? Yeah, it's a 6.3. That kind of stuff. These are, I keep talking about these because I really do believe that for people that are always talking about not having a lot of room to be able to keep an aquarium, these smaller aquariums really do give you an opportunity to get into the hobby because they don't take a lot of space. Like, let's take this for example. They have a little shallow tank right here. This is a 1-gallon. I mean, you're not going to be able to keep a lot of livestock in there. There might be some things like shrimp that you might be able to keep in a 1-gallon, but you could still do something like this where it's still a natural setup where you have live plants, you have water. It's a little bit of a feature, and still be able to participate in the hobby without necessarily having to keep like a regular, like an aquarium like this. This is like the other extreme. But there's a lot of things you can do with a lot of these smaller nano tanks. And there's a lot of species, especially nowadays, that you can find. Like these, I think these are Cubitae rasboras, the neon green rasboras. There's a big selection of smaller fish in the hobby that you're going to be able to keep. That's a Daniel. I'm trying to remember which one it is, but it's even smaller than a neon. So there's an opportunity. They do carry a lot of the nano species in here. Hey, how's it going?
That's good.
And So there's going to be a lot of an opportunity to find something like this. Is this type of stuff that I'm always talking about, that you don't need a lot of volume, but you can still be able to do something that keeps you in the hobby, doesn't take up a lot of space. I know a lot of people say that they live in really small apartments or studios, and it makes it challenging. Well, these are great options to be able to do that. Here's another example of some nano fish that are kind of adequate for those smaller aquariums. These are some chili rasboras that they got in here. So there's a lot of opportunities. It's just a matter of finding the right fit for you. Right now the store is still off, so they're in transition of turning on some stuff. The guys are really busy in the back. Talking to Nolan, they're expecting a pretty good sized crowd coming in, and so they're all, everybody's kind of scattered doing different stuff because they got to do what they have to do. This is another one that's like a little 3-gallon. Again, it goes to show you, if you don't have a countertop, you can use some brackets, do a shelf, and even keep it on your wall. And you can see here's another one. This happens just to have a frame on it, but the same concept. And you can get some plants in here. You can see that there's a little bit of a livestock in here. So there really isn't any limitations as to what you can do. Oh, what do we have there? Hey, what's up, Mel?
How's it going? How's everything, man?
All right, all right.
You're loving the store? You're showing everybody the store?
Hey, I'm really impressed. Here's the other thing, and this is from a video you did a while back.
Okay.
One of the things you pointed out is, you don't have to go very, very expensive to try to set up shelves and stuff like that. It gives you more of that industrial feel. So,
it does.
Imagination and creativity really does allow you to do a lot of stuff.
That's what I love about Nolan's Aquarium, man. This is like, you at home can create an entire fish room or a fish store by just using cinder blocks, plywood, 2x4s. I mean, that's what I love about it. He keeps things simple, and he does really well. And it's an awesome atmosphere here. Everybody, the employees, everybody's super friendly. There's no dumb question. They don't make you feel like, oh gosh, this guy doesn't know anything. Ask him all the questions. They're so helpful. He's got a great crew. And then we're here at the 2025 Medaka Fest, baby. It is going down.
This is the very first one that they're doing, correct?
Very first annual. The first annuals are always the best, man. They're expecting over 200 people to show up. I think it's going to be closer to the 400 realm, but they got food trucks, they got balloon animal makers here. The event is free. That's the best part about it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And free parking too as well. There's lots of parking. Like his shop is, I don't know if you showed everybody out front, it's in an industrial area.
No,
so
not
it's
yet.
not like in a shopping center like a lot of local fish stores are. It's in an industrial area, so there's plenty of parking. It's free. The event's out back, and there's plenty of room. Over 20 vendors selling Medaka fish, selling angelfish, corydoras. There's going to be fancy guppies, goldfish, koi fish, bettas. So all the vendors are going to be here, and they're actually just running major deals here in the store too as well. Nolan's going to have a bunch of discounts going on in the store. So first 100 customers get a free goodie bag.
Oh,
and
nice.
The goodie bag, it's one of the title sponsors is Aquarium Co-op, and they gave Nolan $800 in product to give to everybody. So that's going to be part of the goodie bag. So first 100 people, got to get out of here, man.
All right.
Seeing you, brother.
Oh, man, thank
Take
you.
care.
Let me go ahead and continue to show them around the store, because I know they got a lot of great stuff in here. If you're looking for plants, they got a whole plant section. Obviously, they got stuff that is cultured, and so make sure that it doesn't have any of the snails in it. So tissue cultures is the word I was looking for. They're, I guess, Tropica vendor. So, if you're looking to set up an aquarium, whether it's big or small, and you're looking for the stuff to do it, the store is in a good situation where they're going to be able to supply you everything from the aquarium, the hardscape, the soils, the substrates, the livestock, whatever it is you're looking for. You're going to be able to find it out here in one shop. These plant setups, I'm starting to see more and more of them. I really like them because it allows you to keep different variations of plants. Now, especially right now that like paludariums, terrariums are kind of in style, it allows you to keep aquatic plants that are fully immersed And you also be able to get some of the submerged version of it in case you want to plant it for a terrarium or paludarium. The other thing that's cool is you get to see that some of these plants will transition when they become immersed, and you also get to see them when they're submerged. So that's a little setup that they have here. You know, every other tank in here has plants in there. They have selection of libraries in here. You know, a lot of the stuff you're seeing now, which is really interesting from talking to Nolan, is when they originally started, when he started the store at the very beginning about 7 years ago, he was really focused on African cichlids. And that's what he has in here. It's just basically, he's got a few different buildings that he's, not buildings, but rooms, and he's kind of separated them by species. So in here this is kind of like the bones of what this store is, because that's exactly what he started selling, was a lot of these African cichlids. But because of customer demand, he's kind of gradually kind of changed over to what, you know, people want to buy. And as a business, you got to be flexible, and you got to go with what customers are asking for, or else you're not going to be a business for very long. The other thing that I was talking about is that I thought planet aquariums and all that was kind of like a trend that was coming in, but it looks like that trend's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be part of the hobby for a long time. So it only makes sense that, you know, the evolution to meet the market's demand is going to happen if you want to have success. So that's what they have in here, is a lot of the African cichlids. They got some Tanganyika, some Lake Tanganyikas in here. They have some Shelleys in there. He has a lot of the peacocks and haps. So that's, you know, like these guys that are in here. This is the other reason why I wanted to come, because I know for a while there I've thought about setting up an African cichlid tank, and I wanted to see what some of these species look like when, especially the OB peacocks, because you can't really appreciate the color on film or on the camera until you actually see them in person. So I just kind of wanted to see what he had in inventory and stock like that, just for ideas, and possibly opening up an aquarium for African cichlids. But when they're full grown, they do get a little bit sizable. These guys are probably every bit of 6 to 7 inches big, so they do get pretty big. So for me, I would have to have a bigger aquarium set up for them. So with that being said, let's go into this other room and see what they got in here. They got a little bit more of South American cichlids. He's got a little bit of plants in here. Some snails tanks in here. These guys these guys were the ones that got me into the hobby. The convict cichlid. That was the very first fish that I've ever kept. Then he's got some blue polars in here. He's got a little bit of livebearers, so it's a little bit of a mix. He's got a nice little Mbuna puffer in here. Oh, Mabuna, or what is it? Mbu? Mabu puffer. What else have we got in here? He's got an eel, a freshwater eel in here. That looks pretty cool. He's got some, looks like geophagus in there. He's got a lot of the hardscape. You see, this is another thing that I think it's important for a lot of the stores to have, especially if you're going to get into the aquascaping, is having these little sandboxes that allow you to play around with the hardscape and trying to configure it to make sure that it's, one, the pieces that you're taking are going to be adequate enough for the aquarium that you're trying to set up, but it also gets you in that creative flow and being able to find the right pieces for you're trying to do. So it's really hard if you're just taking stuff like this and trying to imagine what it's going to look like. They're providing you with an area where you're going to be able to get your hands on, and they have different types of gravels and stuff so that you can get a very good feel for the hardscape or the aquascape you're trying to set up. So I'm surprised that more stores don't carry these. I think these are essential, especially if you're carrying anything for aquascapers. You got to have some of these. It looks like they have a little musk turtle in here. He's got plants, a bunch of are these pea puffers are big. Maybe they are. I hadn't seen them that big. But he's got some puffers in here. He's got some, what are these? Cherry barbs. Looks like some, what is mollies? Looks like a bunch of mollies in there. Some Harlequin rasboras. Again, another fish that goes really good in smaller setups. Some of the smaller tanks. They've got some rice fish. He's got some Medaka rice fish in here. It looks like they're probably the platinums. Some emerald rasboras. So if you're looking to set up a nano tank, this is a good place to be able to come and find some of these nano fish. And then what I'm noticing is that they do have a good selection of some of the rarer ones, like the chili rasboras, the kubite rasboras. So there's an option to be able to do that. Out here, I don't think we kind of looked at these tanks. We just kind of went through. They got some tetras. This is like, it looks like it's a section for a lot of their shrimp. These are all, what are they? Caridina? Neocaradinas? No, these are probably Caridinas. And he's got some clown killifish. Those are pretty cool. Another nano fish that goes great for these little small tanks. Only thing with that, the only word of caution with those guys are jumpers, so I would recommend either keeping the water level a little bit lower or having a lid on that. They do have some of the UNS, soils for the substrates, the active substrates, so you can do your aquascaping. They have, these are they the peppermint or, let me see if I can find the name for this, the plecos. They get pretty big though. I didn't think they got that much bigger. Those are Nubius. That's something else. The Galaxy Vampire Plecos. Okay. So they're not the snowballs. The snowballs have more consistent size circles on them. In here, like I said, they've got some white clouds in here. It looks like some green neons. Plants. You're going to see all sorts of plants in here. They have their all stores got to have the bread and butters the most selling, so they have some tiger barbs in here, some Buenos Aires tetras, gouramis, different things in here. And then back here is where they do a little bit of breeding and other projects in here, but backside over here is where they're going to be holding the event. These are the bags that Mel was talking about, the Hawaiian Fish Keeper, for the goodie bags that they're going to be giving, believe for the first 100 people that come in here. But back in here is where they're going to be holding the event. And right now we still got out here a little bit early. And there's still a lot of space available. But the idea is that this will be full of people. And as the day progresses, I'll be taking a little bit of footage so that you guys can see what the event really turns out. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of the store. Right now, there's nobody in there, obviously, because it's before they open up the store. I'll probably be taking some other stuff for Instagram and stuff like that, and you'll probably see a whole different scene out here. Again, if you happen to be out here in the Southern California, LA area, this is the first year. Depending on the success they have, this is something that could probably become an annual event. And so if that's the case, I know one of the biggest gripes that I've always had is that they don't do a lot of stuff out here in Southern California. So this is a great opportunity to attend an event and and participate. So if you don't turn up, then how do you expect the events to have any success? So with that being said, I'll catch you guys the rest of the day, and you guys take care.